Hi everyone, I'm Erika Reyes. I'm one of the applications engineers here at RKI Instruments, and welcome to our channel. Today we're going to talk about how to do an initial setup on an SDM 6000 calibration station. We're also going to go over the different parameters that you can change in the standalone mode of the unit. And towards the end of the video, we're going to do a full calibration as well. On the very right side here, the GX6000 that I have, this is a 5-gas GX6000. It has LEL, O2, H2S, CO, and a low ppm VOC PID sensor. Towards the left side on the cylinders, the very left side is a 4-gas mix cylinder. Concentrations are 25 parts per million of H2S, 50 ppm CO, 50% LEL methane, 12% oxygen in nitrogen balance. And over to the right of it is a 10 parts per million isobutylene cylinder. That is for the PID sensor, 0 to 50 parts per million. Now I'm going to put gas 1 inlet into the 4-gas mix cylinder. And I'm going to set up gas 2 as isobutylene. So physically, I'm going to put in the gas inlets into the meter. So right now, I have the GX6000 plugged in with the red button pushed. That way it recognizes what sensors are in the 6000. And when we configure it, it's going to show up in the options. I have my gas 1 with the 4-gas mix cylinder and gas 2 with the isobutylene cylinder. So when you turn it on, this is the screen that you're going to see initially. It will say ready since I have the 6000 plugged in. There's this little icon right here, a blue circle with a blue dot in it. It means that your 6000 is connected and that the unit tab is active and it's ready to go. So first thing you want to do is to go into config. And we want to go into inlet to make sure our inlets and gases are matching. So right now, I have gas 1 at CH4 50%, H2S 25, CO 50, and O2 12%. If you need to change it, you just pretty much click on one, click the little arrow right there, and you can pretty much change it to whatever your gas cylinder is on there. Right now, I have this concentration, so that is okay. Make sure you have the active box checked. That way it's going to run the gas through. If you have it unchecked, it's going to skip that gas port. I'm going to go to gas 2. Gas 2. This one, I have isobutylene 10 parts per million. So I'm going to go in, press the arrow, make sure it says VOC, and it's 20,000. That's not what I have. I have 10. So I can actually input 10. And it's ppm, not ppb, so I need to change that. And okay. And that's pretty much how you set up your inlet. So it doesn't really matter if I have gas 1 with the isobutylene and gas 2 with the 4-gas mix, as long as you make sure it matches when you set it up. And I make sure that is active and okay. So that's how you set up the inlets. It's really easy. Make sure to plug in your 6000 first because sometimes your gas will not show up. And right now we're going to quickly go over how to the different bump and cal parameters. Let's go over bump first. So it will show air flush, gas, and air purge. Air flush is in the beginning doing the air cal and zeroing everything out. The gas is the 20 seconds it's going to run your gas through, and air purge is going to be the amount of time that it's going to purge out the instrument and clear out with the toxic gases that's running through it. There's also a tolerance, which you can change. Maximum is 50%. You can change it to lower tolerance if you want to. That's the tolerance that it's going to pass it. So, you know, whatever reading plus or minus 50%, it's going to pass it. There's also this fast and auto cal that you can check and uncheck, along with alarm check and auto print that you can check and uncheck. The fast pretty much just means that within the first 10 seconds of this bump test, if it's within that tolerance that you entered, it's going to pass that bump test. It saves the gas. That's the main point of that. AutoCal, if it fails the bump and you have this check, it's going to automatically perform an auto calibration. Alarm check, if you have it checked, it's going to automatically perform an alarm check right afterwards. And same with the auto print, it's going to print out, if you have a printer connected, it's going to print out the data once you have, if you have it connected there. Calibration parameters. So there's a little bit less here, but it's the same type of deal. Air flush, gas, and air purge. So, you know, air cal, amount of time it runs the gas, and then the air purge where it purges out and cleans the system out. Alarm check, same deal with the bump test. It's going to perform an alarm check after calibration. I'm going to go ahead and check that. And auto print, you can check and uncheck it if you have a printer connected. I'm going to go in back. Some other parameters is the date, where you can just change the date and the time. You can change different formats to it. If you want military time or just standard time, you can also change it. Language, different languages you can choose from, so that's pretty straightforward. And a password. So you can use a password or not, and you can change it as well here. That's just so people don't get into the configuration. So that's what the password is, to protect your initial setup. So right now, let's go ahead and perform a calibration. So I'm going to go and push the back button. This is your main screen right here. And once it's all set up, you just press cal. And that will do your air flush. There's a little play orange icon there that just means calibration is in process. You can also go into the unit tab. That way you can actually see what the sensors are going through right now. So right now it's doing gas 1 cal, as it says on top right there. So it's going to do the 4 gas mix first, since that's in gas 1. Those are pretty close to the values of the cylinders, if you're noticing. And it's going to say pass initially, and it's going to say gas 2 cal, which is the isobutylene. So you're going to see that go up. One thing I'd want to mention is the auto bump and the download. So the download would allow you to download whatever data is on your GX 6000 meter into the SD card of the SDM 6000. And you also have an auto bump. That way, when you plug in your 6000 meter into the calibration station, it's going to automatically do a bump test. And detector off, that's just to turn off the detector. And we'll go back to the function tab here. And you're going to see a little progress bar right there. It's doing an air purge right now. And you can cancel your calibration anytime. Right now it's doing an alarm check, since I checked that option earlier. And cal end. So you can actually see the results. If it passes, you're going to see that green square. If it fails, you're going to see a red square. And if I go back to the unit tab, you're going to see all the passes there. And it does the alarm check as well, since we have that checked. Okay. Once you go back to the function tab and hit cal end, you can no longer view those results. So the only way to view them is to download that data or plug it into a computer and view it again. So I'm going to hit cal end, and it's going to go back to the main menu. So that's how you'd perform a calibration. Very straightforward, just pretty much just pressing a button. Same with the bump test. Just go ahead and press that bump. I'll do that right now. And it's going to do a bump test. And you can do the same thing, view whatever it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that since we calibrate. And you can cancel the bump test or the calibration anytime you want to. Just press yes. And it kind of cancels it.